Hello. They asked me to tell something about this new world and how migrations and new technologies, what they have in common. Well, when I hear the word immigrant, there are two things that come to my mind. First is image like this one. Images like this one are quite unimaginable to me. I can't imagine that I take all my belongings, I board on a ship, spend weeks in a rough sea and come to the country I'd never seen and have to reinvent my life from the beginning. This is something so stressful to me that I can't imagine doing it. Another thing that comes to my mind is a story of my friends. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, one Sunday morning in 1992, they were asleep, having rest. And what happens? A telephone rings early in the morning, something like 6 o'clock. And somebody on the other side says, hello, is this and that person? And they say, no, I'm sorry, this is the wrong number. And they fall asleep. What happens next? Ring, ring again. Is this number? No, this is the wrong number. They fall asleep again, and what happens? Ring, ring. Is this? No, it is the wrong number for the third time. What happens next? The phone rings for the fourth time. And the male voice on the other side says, sorry, I know it's the wrong number, but listen to me for a second. We are calling from Australia. We are trying to reach our friends and to talk to them, but obviously we have a wrong number. But you know, we emigrated from Zagreb to Australia so many years ago, and we really want to know, it was wartime, we really want to know what is going on in Croatia, how is it in Zagreb? Since we cannot reach our friends, we don't know any number in Zagreb that operates, would you be so kind, would you like to talk to us? This story always comes to my mind when we talk about migrations. And they became friends, phone friends. They would call them occasionally, once in a month, and they would talk to them what's going on in Zagreb. 92, we already had CNN International, global television news, but no internet. Internet wasn't present in the world at that time. So this is the story that tells me how communication, how link to home is important. If you go somewhere for a brief time, for a medium-sized time, or for a long time, lifelong time, a link to home is very important. For centuries, this link to home were letters, for those who were literate to write. If not, they should have found somebody who can write in their language. The problem with writing for most average people is the longer you don't write, the more you have to say. The more you have to say, the longer the letter should be. The longer the letter should be, the more time you need to write it. The more time you need to write it, the less time you have to write it. And then you don't write, and then it increases, and it's ever-increasing spiral. And many of us eventually don't write. My aunt, my father's sister, she left Zagreb in 1958, 59, for Australia. And my father basically never wrote to her. He loved her dearly, and when phoning became financially possible, he would phone her. Writing simply was not possible for him. And she didn't write too much. And she visited Croatia only once ever since. Her daughter never. Well, today we have email. The advantage of email that the messages we write in email are short, brief, immediate. We can write them the moment we have. Today with smartphones we can write them even on a phone. While we ride on a bus, while we walk, while we sit on a bench in a park, while we wait at the doctor, we can write emails. Emails can be short. They don't have to be long. We can write only one word, one sentence. And this is good, because nothing prevents us from sending an email. They are immediate, and we sometimes get immediate answer. So this link to home is much, much closer. It can be closer. We can broadcast. We can spam our friends. We can send to tens of our friends the same message. It doesn't cost us sending 10 messages or 100 messages. We can tell them, for instance, what I do, I have, unfortunately, most of people I have been good with while in high school and while studying have emigrated. Sweden, Germany, Finland, Austria, England, Brussels, Chile, States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Arabic countries. And what I do, when the first snow falls in Zagreb, I send them a message, the first snow has fallen in Zagreb. Every year, I do this for the past 20 years since we have internet. So email, new technology, has brought us this ability to communicate with people in different time zones immediately, when we hear something on our mind. Today, we can send them a picture. But even better, for other purposes, email is impersonal. We don't hear the voice. We don't hear emotion. Today, we have a phone, and especially those mobile phones. Phones we can use everywhere, anytime, to communicate to anyone. We see unfortunate refugees on their way to a better future, how they use phones for selfies and sending them home, and to others somewhere spread around the world. Phones give this, with images, with voice, give this intimacy, warmth, friendliness, closeness to family, better than written word can ever. Even better yet, we have Skype. We have Skype with group calls. We can gangbang. We can meet all in one place, virtually, regardless where we are, in which time zones, which continents. Skype, indeed, people use Skype everywhere, with video. You know, we shop with Skype. We play music and entertain, have hobbies and pastime jointly on Skype. We Skype while we move, not in a car, hopefully. We Skype at work, at the doctor. We Skype even when we cook. My daughter, she was an Erasmus student last semester. She and her boyfriend, they were together and they lived in an apartment. They were cooking by themselves. So every 2-3 days in the evening, she would Skype her mother to guide her through cooking, because she was learning how to cook. And they had Skype cooking sessions 2-3 times a week, you know, and we were basically in their kitchen all the time. So it's a completely different dimension of life. So she learned all family secret recipes, and they're good at cooking now. I tasted it. When we emigrate and we have to move in a foreign country, or when we want to see where our beloved ones are in the world, we use maps. This is a traditional map, city map, town map that we used to use. Today, our maps are more like this one. The advantage of new maps, like the Google one or OpenStreetMap or something, is that we can click. We can click on this little image down there and we get a photograph of the place. We don't see only schematics of the place. We see streets, we see buildings, we see are there any trees or not. Even better, what we have is we have this little guy here. If we click on him and we drag him to where we want, what we get is a photograph of a place. Street view. We can move through streets. We can see how the surrounding where they are. We can what my wife did, she was traversing the path from my daughter's apartment to her university and the other building in the university. So she was actually trying to revive how is it to go on those streets. We can see it. There is another wonder of this geographic technology called Google Earth. I hope you all had experience with it. This is the building we are right now in, seen in the eyes of Google Earth, or the building you were yesterday in. Here, you probably don't recognize it immediately. The Google Earth is a really marvelous thing, not only to see, but also the process. I type in the address of this building, and the whole process is fascinating, isn't it? We are zooming in like a parachuter. We are here, look. Then we change the angle. We change the angle. Okay, go away, please. One-handed operation. Then we zoom in. Let's see the skyscraper. I don't know if you've visited Google Earth recently, but it became three-dimensional. You see, you can move around the buildings. Look at this. If you move around the buildings, you see we are, for instance, in these windows here. This is us. You can wave through the window. Hello. Well, this is not live. This is photographed. We don't see it immediately right now. If you would stick your head out and wave, we wouldn't see it in the screen. But we will. In a few years, we will. And this is amazing. You can really, from the other side of the world, follow your friends, your beloved ones, see what's in their backyard, if the kids have put their bicycles in the garage or left them out, whether the dog is on the leash or not, you will be able to see all this. So this technology allows us to participate in our lives, even if we are far, far away. A beautiful technology exists. A free application can be downloaded to your smartphone, and you just enable and put the password in, and whoever has the password can follow you on Google Maps. You see, this is the trajectory of a person moving one day along the city. So you can follow where they are right now, where they move, what they do. Really taking part of our lives. Some of us took time and wrote a long letter, giving a summary what was happening. How was it in vacation? How was it in school? What happened with somebody's health? Today, especially younger generations find it much easier to record a video, to create a video story. So whether you decided to visit Venice and you want to give a first-hand experience, how is it to float or sail around the canals, whether you want to take a ride, bike ride, or go to the beach, or you want to ski, or something like this, or you want them to see how are you building your home. You can create stories. You can create video stories. If you would like to visit places, you can go to webcams. This is Santiago de Compostela, main square. We can visit all of your cities right now if you want. If you ever decide that you liked Zagreb and would like occasionally to pay a visit but you don't have time to, there is just a few clicks away. This is a live webcam, and actually there is a sound. Is the tram coming? You can even hear the sound. So webcams are all over the world, and increasingly they will be in our homes, in our yards, and we will be opening them to the friends and people who we want to share our lives with. But we can also create stories, and these mobile phones allows us to do this. Everybody can point and shoot a short video of seconds or few minutes showing what kids are doing, what elderly are doing, how beans are growing, how flowers are blooming, how roof is not leaking anymore, how somebody has scratched our car and we are nervous about it, how graduation ceremony goes on. And using this technology we can create stories. We can transfer them live, we can create stories. Our lives really can be much, much better connected than ever. However, when you first move to some other place, there are several initial problems. Problem of language, problem of culture, social circuits, problem of getting information, advice. With the global world we have a lot of information, but which one is the right one? Which one is the one we actually can leverage for our life? Assistance, help. The simplest thing technology offers us is this simple and many times mocked with and made fun of Google Translator. I must tell you that I was surprised just a few months ago when I was in a hurry and they told me I need to deliver both Croatian and English version of some summary. So I wrote it in Croatian and said, okay, maybe Google can do some job in translating to English because I'm typing slow. I was surprised that I had only a few corrections to make, how good translation is. In the other direction, from English to Croatian, is almost useless. But yet, still. But it will improve. This one from Croatian to English is quite good. So using, there is no excuse not to translate something. It's better to translate with Google Translate than no. I don't know anything about Portuguese. I don't know a single word in Portuguese, but there's no reason I don't try to translate something. I haven't investigated for other languages, but for instance for English, when I need the explanation of an English word, I always use something called one-look dictionary. This is a great tool because when you type a word, for instance I type the word dictionary, you get here on the left side, what you see here is definition of the word dictionary in 40, 50 dictionaries, online dictionaries. Would you like it from Oxford, American Heritage, Macmillan, Merriam-Webster's, Cambridge Advanced Dictionary, all languages. So here it gives you one, for instance from Macmillan. If you are not satisfied, you can go here and pick dictionary of your choice. It's a great thing. You have all dictionaries at once. I don't know how it's for other languages. I never investigated it. So communication in different languages is much, much easier today. And everything can be used from a smartphone, which is great. Social networks. At the beginning of the internet, we had something called internet forums, internet groups. Today, social networks like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn for professionals have replaced it. Let me tell a story about this photograph. This is the snapshot of my screen last night. So this is brand new, brand new for an old guy like me, Facebook, because I go to Facebook every 2 or 3 weeks. This baby, this baby here, she was born in Zagreb, and immediately after she was born, they moved to Sweden. After she graduated high school, she decided she doesn't want to live in Sweden. She wants to live in Croatia. And she moved back here, lived with grandparents, studied here on the other side of the street, got employment, and she is looking forward to her retirement in 2 years' time from the Embassy of Sweden. Her younger sister was also born in Zagreb. She followed her sister after high school, the philosophy of her sister. She moved to Croatia. He finished this faculty, decided she can't live in Croatia. She can't live in Sweden. She actually doesn't know what her identity is she Swede or Croat? Married Croat and settled in Austria. She lives in Austria for the past 30 years. Their youngest sister was born in Sweden. Got the education, studied in Sweden, started to work in Sweden, married Swede, and emigrated to Germany and lives past 15 years in Germany. The mom and dad are healthy and alive, thanks God, and after completing their whole professional career in Sweden, he is an electrical engineer and physicist and works in the institute, designing some very complicated high-tech measurement equipment for nuclear experiments. And she worked at a radio as a journalist. When they got to the retirement, they moved back to Croatia. And their dad, this gentleman, yesterday celebrated 91st birthday. They actually joined together on Skype and extended family on Facebook, and this is how actually technology helped them reunite their huge family. I know a very nice family from Vienna, Viennese, who have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son, and they are all over the world. They work in troubled places like it used to be Kosovo, Albania, Turkey. Now they are moving to Syria, also Ukraine. They are helping people in all sorts of distress. And the kids are spread all around the world. The parents are actually commuting between Vienna and Berlin, where the headquarters of this organization the kids are running is. And without new technologies, they couldn't work and live and be together, and they feel very joined together. Helping the Facebook and similar technologies can really help immigrants find the social circuit, find the support, not only connection linked to home, but actually to settle in new environment, to find people they would like to communicate to. Finding people with same ideas. If you come a country where you are very weak in a language, you are just learning the language and you have to cope, except with the people from your culture or people from the language you know something about, you can try to find those people and join with them. The only thing that you can do with people that you don't know the language is, for instance, dance or play music. So you can find some clubs where people dance or play music and try to find new friends even if you don't know the language. Social networks, internet, portals and browsers and search engines can help you on this. Various groups on Facebook and other places can help you find people of the same profession, same interest, and you can actually broaden and much quicker build your social circle than you could otherwise. But immigrants cannot do this by themselves. We, who are lucky enough that we can live in our countries and work and enjoy, we should be aware that we should never forget that there is a lot of very nice people among us who came from other countries, who do not know our culture, who do not know our language, who actually need a helping hand, who need someone who actually recognizes they are here. Sometimes we are rude, sometimes we pass nearby people don't recognizing they are there at all, because we are in our thoughts, our worlds, our worries, our pursuit of our goals, and we don't recognize around us are people with their needs. And some of them are so-called strangers, people who are first time here or only briefly here. These people need our advice, relevant information. They need assistance, and we can provide them. We, the residents, are those who can make lives of these people much, much better. We could and should provide it, first of all in person. When somebody is with a map on the street, when somebody is looking around, simply ask them, hey, do you need help? Do you need a ride? Do you need anything? Are you hungry? But we should also provide it online. We shouldn't pretend that, oh, everything is online, why they don't go to online and find the resources. We should check periodically, what is it online that we would like other people to know about us? Well, what is it online that could really help them? And we should really think about various Google groups, Hangouts, Foursquares, Twitters, Facebooks, LinkedIns, Pinterests, Flickrs, and all sorts of technologies that are out there that could help people actually enjoy our environment. I believe this is the essence of the new world, because as I said at the beginning this morning, we really created the global world. On one side there is a danger we will all become the same. There won't be cultural differences. We will create only one homogeneous, glued together, mixed, melted culture. And there won't be many differences, which would be sad. On the other hand, as we can see, these migrations might create tensions. I can hardly believe that a person who has been born in a country, sometimes his parents were born in a country, but the grandparents came from another country. I can hardly believe that this person really, truly has anything really to feel a grudge about his country he was born in, was educated in, treated for illnesses, fed. The reasons why people don't feel good in our countries, I guess, are most times with us, the residents. Yes, of course, some bad people want to abuse people, want to mislead young people. But if somebody has a job, if somebody is esteemed in his environment, he has absolutely no reason to make trouble to himself or the others. So these new technologies are really wonderful and can do many things that previously we couldn't. But they don't do it by themselves. Information, pictures, cameras. Hey, install the camera in your backyard, on your window, on your rooftop. It's cheap, it's simple. Write a blog, post pictures, invite people from your neighborhood, from your company. Croatia is traditional, and on one side we believe that we are very welcoming people, but on the other side, what I observe with our students and Erasmus guests that come here, our students are not very much in interaction with Erasmus students. And this is wrong. We should change this. When I talk to our students, not only my daughter, to our students that last semester spent about 10 of them in universities like Munich, Vienna, Karlsruhe, KTH, Chalmers, Switzerland, they all told me that basically Erasmus students are joined with other Erasmus students, not with resident students. And this is wrong. Why are you going to another country if you don't talk to people, if you don't mingle with those people, if you don't learn about the culture? You can do it online. You can study online. Why moving to another country if you don't get involved? I know a family, very close one. They lived 20 years in Arabic countries. 20 years. Their kids went to school there. None of 4 of them speaks Arabic. What a waste, isn't it? You know, you're 20 years in a country and you don't speak the language. Okay, there are various dialects, they moved from one country to another one. There is a number of reasons why they didn't. It's not because they hated Arabs or didn't want to learn. You know, life practicalities prevented them. But what prevented them actually is that their kids went to American and British schools, that they worked in American and British companies, that their friends were people from these companies, and they didn't have the need to speak anything but English. Now, it is our question how we want to do this. And if you had the ability to ride Zagreb tram, which is a nice thing to do, and we from Zagreb don't appreciate it much. I was a kid, 13 years old, when I had a visitor from Germany. He was 11 years old, and I live on the outskirts of the town, and we didn't have tram already there. And the only thing he wanted to do is ride on a tram, and it was boring to me. Why do you want to ride on a train, you know? He wanted to do this because he had no opportunity to do this in Germany, in his small town. So if you ride today in our modern, nice trams along this nice city, you will hear announcements of stations in Croatian. And we want to be international metropolis. We should have all possible languages. People of Zagreb riding to their school or job every day should hear every day at least 10 different languages in tram. Why not? This is the way I see globalization and joining. So I hope this is just introduction to a discussion that we'll have now, your new ideas, how we can use new technologies for our future projects. I mean, Suso has ideas for 5 next projects, this is what I definitely know. But we shouldn't let him be alone, and we should give him a few of our ideas, and I would invite you to give me some of your thoughts. And wherever you go, whatever you do, please do stay in touch between you, with your beloved ones, and also with us. Thank you. Now you.
Questions?
No questions, ideas. I don't have answers, I have only questions. What will you create next? In your town, what new projects can we do? I didn't mention one great technology. It is not technology, it is a product, it is a service. It is called Booking, and the other one is what is it's
Airbnb.
Airbnb. Airbnb is a great one. So for those who don't know, these are services on internet that help you find a place you will be, what youngsters and Americans say, where you will crash in, which means where you will sleep. And the great thing about this is Airbnb. The great thing is, I used it once, I'm not quite sure. The point is that I probably have an account. Probably. The great point is that you cannot, so there are two sides, the ones who want to sleep somewhere and those who are offering a place to sleep in exchange for money. When you are offering, you can offer your house, your apartment, your room, your couch or sofa, your place on a balcony, space in garage, space in a garden. No, really, it's not a joke. You know, for youngsters that travel all around the world, one of theirs here, I know. Really, you know, you don't have to have an expensive house to rent. You're just offering somebody a couch because you have a free couch and you want to meet people. And I know a few people who told me that they already had visitors from all around the world, about 20 different countries, and they decided that it's finally time for them to travel because, you know, so many people from different places, it's wonderful. So technologies like Airbnb, which allow you to simply invite people in your home to offer them something, and likewise. There are also services, I don't know what their names are, where you announce that you would like to travel, for instance, now to Ljubljana. And the first person who is traveling there and is joined in this network says, okay, I have 2 places in my car, why don't you come with me? I'm leaving Zagreb at 9 o'clock. The same is for longer trips. If you want to go to Hamburg, Hanover, Paris, Dublin by car, somebody might be able to take you along. So there are all sorts of inventions. I'm too old for this. We need to next time invite youngsters to tell us how they do it. But this is all part of new technology. Not technology just like computers, but technology in a sense, okay, I can rent a space on my balcony for one sleeping bag. Yeah, you know, 20 years ago it would be a joke. Nobody would take it seriously. Today it's quite a normal thing. So what are your ideas? What do you want to do? I'll give 10 seconds to Jure to invent something. He's avid traveler. And I will also provoke my colleague Marian, who spent 7 years in China. So he probably can tell us something about emigration and the needs. Seven guys? 6? 5? 3, 1, come on. Give us some ideas. No, really, I'm serious. Good.
Actually, you mentioned many technologies, but you didn't mention artificial intelligence. And I think that will be something really helping people, helping immigrations in a way humankind cannot. Because you, as good as you're a friend of someone or as kind as your local residents, you cannot be with someone 24/7. And artificial intelligence, when the technology comes, it can be really great as like a companion for the immigration.
Do I understand? Do I understand you well? That you basically suggest that we create virtual hosts that will be always kind and helpful to our visitors?
Yeah, it can be a phone app. It doesn't need to be a physical robot, but the technology now is not possible yet. For instance, if you have this app, it can tell you, like you are running app, to tell you how much is your heartbeat, and but then it can tell you also how much is your mood today, from 1 to 100. You are
This sounds to me as a great extension to this project, because with our pedagogical guide, the dictionary, and all sorts of stuff, yes.
Yeah, but these are still on the level of you know, hard data, not the soft data. For instance, like what I said, like mood. Like when you are in a different country, you can be very low, and then you have artificial intelligence tell you what to do, who to talk to, and what to explore in the city and stuff like that. And it will be like you have your best friend, best local friend 24/7 with you.
Interesting. Interesting idea.
Just the idea.
So she needs some biometrics. What do you want me to do with that?
I want you to talk.
Okay. Hi. What do you want me to talk about? Are you going to ask me a question?
Yeah. What needs to be done? You're here in Zagreb for years.
Yes, I think he personally was digging at me when he said that he knew people who were in Arab countries for 20 years. I've been in Croatia for 20 years, and my Croatian is vrlo loše, and I probably even screwed that up. So anyway, so as far as ideas go for new services, I was actually thinking about the project myself, and I took both books because I teach a class called Applied Creativity and Innovation, and I will make a new module on them making mini documentaries now, based on your guide. So that will happen June 26th through July 15th. So congratulations, it's already been having a multiplier effect from today.
Wow. With Tina, it's always like this. She's always very quick to do something. I wasn't picking on you, I was picking on my relatives.
Okay. But
which you know, very well know.
I know who they are. I hired one.
You know who I picked on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Here you go.
The project has got something.
Yeah. I thought we could play past the microphone.
Yeah, sure, it would be nice.
The big one.
Guys, do you have anything to say? Sure you have. The paycheck is tomorrow, so. My hand is tired of signing if you wanted me to sign.
Well, one thing that popped to my mind, speaking about the artificial intelligence, is this new technology, these chatbots that are coming. And it seems really nice idea and promising, because right now we already have Siri, we have Cortana, we have these AI services that speak with people and listen. And I'm thinking a lot of these web pages, a lot of information is available, but it's hard to access by elderly people and by people who were not born in this digital age with internet. So I'm thinking these chatbots, it's a robot, it's artificial intelligence, it's not a real person, but it has access to all this vast amount of data and information, and it can interact with people by speaking, by listening, or by writing text. And it could be a nice way for immigrants, for people to get information, especially once the machine translation and the speech synthesis catches up. So you can go anywhere, but you speak with a service in your language. You can ask questions, where to go, where to eat, which schools are good, and you get info like speaking to a normal person.
You just came back last week from a trip in a very distant country. Give us some ideas.
No, I just wanted to say that I'm amazed. I didn't know some of the Google Earth possibilities that you just showed today. So this was the first time.
And he's working with me every day.
Yeah. And I travel a lot, and this was the first time that I was traveling using GPS and using Google Maps, and that certainly gives you a wide range of opportunities. On the other hand, I feel it's sort of taking away the magic of traveling, because you always know where to go.
The smell.
And what to do. But yeah, so I was traveling to Iran last week, and I was doing a hike on a 5,000 meters mountain, and I was using some Google Maps and GPS maps, and even though I was using them, I still managed to get lost on the way. But yeah, and I certainly didn't know that Google now offers, that Google Maps offer 3D rendering, and yeah, that's certainly a great opportunity if you're traveling to another country.
Besides better maps and better GPS, what would you need in your what will you need in your next adventure?
I think this is already too much. So I sort of you know, it's much more of an adventure when you use a classic map, or when you don't have a map at all, so you have to interact with the people and ask them for directions. I think this is sort of the magic of traveling.
Now it crossed my mind that Juraj seems to pick the countries he will visit by the first criteria: he doesn't know the script they are using, so he can't read anything. Okay. Any ideas, suggestions? Or you want me to leave you alone? Okay, thank you for being with us. As I said, no matter what you do, where you go, keep in touch. Thank you.